Hi everyone, I am Andy. Welcome to Andy's Mindscape. Today we explore a 1930 murder case from Florida involving a man named William Carver. On the 2nd of April 1930, the weather in Sebring was very pleasant. A housewife named Lottie did chores before she decided to take a nap. She just closed her eyes when two loud bangs rang out. Lottie sat up quickly, trying to identify the source of the sudden noise. Silence followed for a moment until two piercing screams broke the quiet. The sounds came from the house of her neighbors, the Carver family. Lottie ran to the window as four more loud bangs echoed. She felt certain that something terrible was happening inside the house of William Carver. Her mother-in-law rushed into the room with the same fear. They debated whether to check the house or call the police for help. Suddenly, the telephone rang in the house of Lottie. She answered and heard the voice of William Carver, who sounded very frantic and upset. William Carver told her that his family was hurt. He asked Lottie to come over because the police and doctors were on their way. When Lottie arrived at the door, William Carver was waiting. He was crying and hysterical, saying his servant Whitehead had attacked his family. William Carver claimed he used a gun to stop Whitehead. He then led Lottie into the house to see the scene of the crime. Lottie noticed large red stains on the front and back of the white shirt William Carver wore. The servant Whitehead lay dead nearby. In the bedroom, Lottie saw Ruth Carver and her young son on the floor. Both were covered in red liquid and were not moving. Ruth Carver was still making faint sounds of pain. Lottie asked William Carver what they should do to help the woman and child. William Carver seemed paralyzed by grief and did not respond. Suddenly, the sound of a crying baby came from another bedroom in the house. Lottie found 11-month-old Frances in the room. She picked up the baby to comfort her and walked back into the main hallway. William Carver was no longer in the room. Lottie found him in the kitchen washing his hands and splashing water on his neck. Two employees from a nearby telephone company arrived. They heard the loud noises and came to check if everyone was safe and okay. William Carver repeated his story to the men while crying. Because he was washing, the men helped him change into a clean shirt. Police Chief Richard and Dr. Mitchell arrived soon. They checked the victims and confirmed that Whitehead and the young son had already passed. Dr. Mitchell said Ruth Carver had no hope of survival. The police chief asked William Carver to describe exactly what happened that afternoon. William Carver said he played golf that morning. After lunch, the family went to sleep in two separate bedrooms for a short nap. He told Whitehead to clean the kitchen and bathroom. William Carver then went to sleep with his daughter Frances in the other room. The screams of his wife woke him up. William Carver rushed to the room and saw Whitehead standing over Ruth and his son. William Carver claimed Whitehead moved toward him. He ran back to his room, grabbed a weapon, and fired until the bullets were gone. Whitehead tried to stand up again. William Carver loaded more bullets and fired a second time to stop the servant from attacking him. Chief Richard asked why Whitehead would do such a thing. William Carver said he did not know the reason for the violent attack. Investigators found a pile of jewelry on the dressing table. They also found a pearl necklace in the pocket of the dead servant. Bloody axe was found at the scene. It was covered by a golf club sock, which explained why William Carver did not recognize it. Chief Richard guessed that Whitehead tried to steal jewelry. When Ruth Carver woke up and screamed, Whitehead attacked her with the heavy axe. A hearing was held a few hours later. Dr. Mitchell reported that Ruth Carver and the child died from blunt force head trauma. The jury decided Whitehead was the murderer. They ruled that William Carver acted in self-defense and would not face any criminal charges. Prosecutor Grady Burton had a different opinion. He felt there was a hidden truth and the case was not as simple as it seemed. Grady noted that only William Carver survived to tell the story. He wondered if the testimony of the only witness was actually true. Grady contacted the police to see the crime scene. He found several problems with the story William Carver told to the investigators. Whitehead had 3 fatal wounds on his back and head. Grady believed Whitehead could not have tried to stand up as William claimed. Lottie and the workmen said William's shirt had red stains. They also heard him say he was sorry for what he had done. Grady suspected the white shirt was key evidence. He went to find it, but Lottie told him the shirt had already been washed clean. Lottie's husband found the expensive shirt and took it home. He washed it and intended to wear it himself, destroying the potential evidence. Lottie described the stains as being darkest on the shoulders. This suggested the person wearing the shirt was the one swinging the axe. Grady was frustrated but leaked the details to the media. Reporters soon swarmed the house of William Carver to get an interview. A reporter discovered an insurance policy for Ruth Carver. It paid $10,000, or $20,000, if she died by unusual causes. William Carver was the beneficiary of the policy. Grady now had a motive and quickly arrested William Carver for 3 counts of murder. William Carver came from a very wealthy family. His father, Samuel Carver, was a successful real estate developer with a huge fortune. William Carver attended the University of Pennsylvania and Harvard. He was a smart man who worked as an ammunition officer during the war. He married Ruth in 1920 and worked in real estate. They moved often as he bought and sold properties across many different states. His father bought 5,000 acres of land near Sebring. He put William Carver in charge of developing a new luxury housing project. Grady realized the insurance money might not be a strong motive. William's father was rich enough to pay $15,000 for bail. Ruth's family arrived, but they did not blame William Carver. They said the couple was very happy and never had any major problems. The trial began on May 12, 1930, with high public interest. People brought food to the court so they would not lose their seats. Grady presented the evidence of the wounds and the shirt. He argued that William's words were a confession of his own guilt. The defense argued that the red stains came from hugging Ruth. They said William Carver was a victim who tried to save his family. The defense called witnesses who said Whitehead was behaving strangely. A driver claimed the servant was drinking and looking very gloomy before. Lottie's father-in-law said Ruth Carver was afraid of a man. This testimony helped the defense suggest Whitehead was the real threat. The jury deliberated and found William Carver guilty of the crimes. The defense was shocked because the evidence was mostly indirect and weak. The judge delayed the sentencing for 3 months due to public outcry. Many people believed the trial was unfair to the Carver family. In August, the judge sentenced William Carver to life in prison. He avoided the death penalty because of the strong public support. William Carver appealed to the Supreme Court and won a new trial. The second trial began in March 1932 with new witnesses. Witnesses said Ruth Carver planned to fire the servant Whitehead. This gave Whitehead a clear motive to attack the family that day. The second jury found William Carver not guilty of the murders. He was released and allowed to go back to his life. Andy believes the evidence against William Carver was very strong. Physical evidence like the shirt stains often tells a more accurate story. William's behavior after the attack was very suspicious and strange. He helped his son but ignored his wife, who was still alive. The motive of $20,000 might have been real for him. William Carver was not as wealthy as his very rich father. Years later, his daughter Frances shared a sad story about his life. William Carver struggled to find work because people still suspected him. He changed his name and moved away to find any work. Frances was sent to live with friends because he could not care for her. When Frances was 13, she found a note from her father. He had cancer and was going to a hospital for his final days. William Carver died at the age of 59 in Los Angeles. He spent his final years alone and disconnected from his wealthy family. Frances said both families rejected William Carver after he was released. This suggests they might have known the dark truth about him. Perhaps the rich father paid for the defense to save his son. Once the son was free, the father wanted nothing to do with him. Case remains a haunting mystery from the past of Florida. We may never know for sure what happened in that house. I am Andy, and thank you for joining me on this journey. Please like and subscribe for more stories on Andy's Mindscape. Goodbye.